High drama aboard the International Space Station. 7 astronauts had to scramble to their safety capsules after Russia blew up one of its own satellites with an Earth-based missile. It created a cloud of space junk that could potentially damage the space station.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2 for an early wake-up.
Astronauts aboard the International Space Station were awakened overnight by NASA flight controllers in Houston.
We were recently informed of a satellite breakup and need to have you guys start reviewing the safe haven procedure.
The threat, a deadly cloud of space debris, hundreds of thousands of pieces, generated after Russia intentionally blew up one of its satellites while testing an anti-satellite missile. 7 crew members, including 4 Americans, a German, and 2 Russians, sought shelter in specialized capsules. While the debris passed the space station without incident, experts say it will continue to orbit for a century or longer, possibly threatening future missions.
And that's all we got from the crew. Thanks for a crazy but well-coordinated day. We really appreciated all the situational awareness you gave us. And it was certainly a great way to bond as a crew, starting off our very first workday in space.
Copy that. We really appreciate you guys' patience on here. It's a crazy way to start a mission. We definitely understand right there, and you guys were troopers through all this and continue to be. So we really appreciate it. And just to let you know, we actually just put message 235 on board with all of those debris-filled transit times. So let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Otherwise, have a great evening. Thank you for all your patience today. Huntsville, Munich, and Scuba are standing by with no topics. So unless you have comments for those centers, we can bid you a good night.
All right, good night, Houston, and good evening to Huntsville, Munich, and Scuba. Thanks again also to you all for supporting us today, and we're looking forward to a calmer day tomorrow.
Hey, Mark, one more go back for you. Theme of the day on here, but our plan for giving you a heads up on those debris-filled transits, we can give you the heads up for the 1755, and then after that we can go silent and just let you track it on your own if unless you have a different preference.
The risk posture stays the same as it is now. We'd like to go quiet after 1755, but if things get worse, please wake us up to let us know.
Absolutely.
And finally, earlier today, the Russian Federation recklessly conducted a destructive satellite test of a direct ascent anti-satellite missile against one of its own satellites. The test has so far generated over 1,500 pieces of trackable orbital debris and hundreds of thousands of pieces of smaller orbital debris that now threaten the interests of all nations. In addition, this test will significantly increase the risk to astronauts and cosmonauts on the International Space Station, as well as to other human spaceflight activities. Russia's dangerous and irresponsible behavior jeopardizes the long-term sustainability of outer space and clearly demonstrates that Russia's claims of opposing the weaponization of space are disingenuous and hypocritical. The United States will work with our allies and partners to respond to Russia's irresponsible act. With that, I am happy to take your questions.
Thank you. Welcome back from the weekend.
Thank you.
I don't have a lot, even though there's a lot going on, but just on the Russia statement, I mean, are you making some kind of a formal diplomatic protest to the Russians about this? Why is this a State Department thing? Are you getting into, diplomacy in space?
Well, this is a State Department thing because it is a reckless and dangerous act, as we said, that threatens the interests of all nations. This is something that before the test we had raised repeatedly with senior officials in Moscow to underscore the irresponsibility that such a maneuver would entail for the international community. Let me just reiterate one point.
I'm not suggesting that what they did was okay.
I wasn't suggesting you were.
I just want to know exactly why it is that it's not the Pentagon or NASA, or why is it the State Department? Did you file some kind of formal diplomatic protest to the Russians about this?
Again,
Why is
this is something we have repeatedly raised with Russian counterparts, our concerns for a potential satellite test. And Matt, let me also be clear that we are going to be working with allies and partners around the world to make very clear that this behavior is not something the United States will tolerate.
Okay, fine. Did you diplomatically file some kind of a protest, a démarche, whatever, with the Russians about this? Why is it that you're getting up here and saying this, as opposed to the Pentagon, as opposed to NASA?
Because
you have the platform? Did you file? All right, let me make it very easy. Have you guys lodged some kind of formal diplomatic protest with the Russians about this incident?
Let me make it very clear. We have spoken to senior Russian officials multiple times to warn them of the irresponsibility and dangerousness of such a test. And Matt, I can't speak to what has been conveyed today, but of course we are not going to shy away from condemning this type of irresponsible activity. The point I was going to make, and I think it's worth repeating, is that today, miles above us, there are American astronauts and Russian cosmonauts on the International Space Station. What the Russians did today with these 1,500 pieces of trackable orbital debris poses a risk not only to those astronauts, not only to those cosmonauts, but to satellites, to the interests of all nations.